Hey, what is up all you lonely watchers out there? It's Lonely Fubuki back with another Yokai Watch news video and greater level 5 news video as a whole. So this came about via an interview with Akihiro Hino on the Chinese social media app called Weibo by an account called Zirin CHS. And this was brought to my attention via the X account Tori Bear's Trivia Corner, who machine translated the Yokai Watch part of the news, as well as Nintendo Patent Watch translating the level 5 part of the news on Blue Sky, which I have linked both of them in the description. So thanks to them for translating and bringing this to our attention. I will first start with the Yokai Watch centered piece of news. Zirin asked, Yokai Watch is one of level 5's most successful cross-media IPs. Now the series is somewhat dormant. What do you think of its current status? Will there be new TV or movie content? To which Akihiro Hino replied, quote, Yokai Watch did become a phenomenal work back then. We were pushed to make animations, movies, and new works every year. The fast pace did not give us enough time to polish the work. This led to the rapid consumption of game content, and players were also very tired. We've conducted a deep reflection and will now press the pause button temporarily. We will carefully re-examine Yokai Watch, including its content format and release rhythm. So I guess this shows that, Yokai Watch isn't considered dead in Level 5's eyes, but I will still be cautiously optimistic, as I could easily still see Holy Horror Mansion being like the pseudo kind of replacement, but the fact that they're still thinking about it, and that they're still considering Yokai Watch just on pause and not completely dead, is a very good thing. Now, he doesn't really say specifically if it would continue in anime or if it would continue in manga or in games, so it's very possible that we could only get one of these in the future if the series ever were to be unpaused, as opposed to this massive multimedia thing that we've been accustomed to. Right after that, Zirin asks, regarding the porting or remake of past works, for example, will more works in the Yokai Watch series be reprinted with the help of the popularity of the Nintendo Switch 2 platform? And will toy linkage be an obstacle? To which Akihiro Hino replies, and I quote, toy linkage is not an obstacle, and our partners are very supportive of us. It's just that the toys released in the past are very old, and the players at the time may no longer have them. And it may be difficult for new players to buy them again, so maybe not joining the linkage and focusing on the game itself is also an option. However, some players will still care about the complete experience, so we will evaluate this part carefully. Which is to be expected. Yokai Watch 1 for Nintendo Switch used the current Yokai arcs instead of the old Yokai medals due to the lack of a camera on the Nintendo Switch. And even then, when the game was brought to smartphones that do have cameras, they used the NFC and not the QR codes from the medals, as opposed to maybe switching over fully to the medals or supporting both now that they'd be playing on cameras, devices with cameras. And because of that, I don't see high hopes for the Nintendo Switch 2 camera bringing back the old QR codes. In the same interview, Zirin also asked Akihiro Hino about the use of generative AI in their products, something Akihiro Hino was previously scorned for by saying that 80 to 90% of games nowadays are made with AI, and he responded, and I quote, we are very positive about AI as a whole. After all, it is where future development is going. But we are also very clear, creativity cannot be completely handed over to AI. It's more of a tool for communication and efficiency improvement. For example, some planners who don't know how to draw can use AI to generate sketches to help express ideas and facilitate communication with artists. But the very content generated by AI will not be directly used in the game. There were also players complaining that Level 5 delayed games despite using AI, but this is not the case. AI can help us handle certain things more efficiently, but to complete the enormous game volume it requires the creatives to produce and direct the final content output. All these take time, and I am very sorry to keep everyone waiting. So this has more so been the consensus beforehand, but that original quote that 80 to 90% of codes were written with AI kind of made people think that, oh, level 5 is just using AI for everything, and the Holy Horror Mansion trailer kind of added flames to the fire. But I have faith that this isn't just PR talk, and this is like actually the creative process that games are going through, because we can see with like games like Megaton Musashi Wired, there wasn't any traces of AI in the final game, but it was used to help communicate ideas with artists and develop code, which I don't think using AI to streamline the coding process is necessarily a bad thing. It's more so when it comes to actual ideas, actual character designs, actual art, things like that. If it helps to automate it to some degree to make the workflow faster, I'm all for that, as long as it's not stealing jobs and work from artists like other forms of like generative AI for images and character designs and text modules for stories and things like that. As long as that is kept out of the greater creative process and AI is just used as a tool to assist in the normal creative process, I think that's fine. And I'm glad that we've actually have some confirmation on this from Akihiro Hino himself and not just from the company. But what do you think of this news? Are you hopeful for the future of Yokai Watch after knowing that it's not officially dead? And do you agree with Level 5 and Akihiro Hino's use of generative AI? Make sure to let me know in the comments, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye bye, my lonely watchers.